Welcome to this panel. Today we have a very special guest. Well, in fact, we are their guest because we are visiting their offices here in Madrid. And this is Dionisio Ugalde, alias Dioni.
Yeah.
Welcome.
My pleasure to be with you.
I'm the one welcome. This is
it's all
getting
right.
a little awkward. I wanted to introduce you to Dionisio because I think he's a rare species. He's a person that didn't start with paddle, very fond of sports, and he's leading two different business. One brand that is growing, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about that. I would say extraordinary growth is top 5, but we're going to get into that also. And today they just unveiled a new racket, pala, or however you want to call it. And also he's the leader of Padel. What's your store?
Padel Pro Shop.
Padel Pro Shop, which is also the leading or one of the, I would say, top 3 to 5. You're going to tell us more. I don't want to get into the data very specifically right now. E-commerce plus, I think you have also physical stores.
We are mainly e-commerce. We have a small store in L'Escorial, but it's mainly an e-commerce.
That's great.
The
to
goal
me,
is
it's
to
more
grow.
interesting.
Definitely. I mean, physical stores are nowadays. Yeah, you can have some flag shops in some countries, but
or a pop-up or something like
kind
test.
of. We do things like that, and we have a small store in our warehouse, but we're
going to talk about that.
Sure.
How do you do that? Because to me it's very interesting, like how people get to know about Oxdog, right? So First of all, I would like to know who is Dionisio Ugalde.
Oh, that's a typical question. Let's say I'm an entrepreneur. I started the first year of the uni. We were selling hockey online because that was my passion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sport lover. I do every day different kind of sports. I've been doing sports all my life, and I'm a business entrepreneur. So I started selling hockey sticks online. That is a very small sport in Spain.
That's super niche.
Super niche that was coming from the Nordic countries.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved from that to handball because the shoes were the same.
Uh-huh.
We still have
handball, balonmano,
balonmano, exactly.
handball. Perfect.
Yeah, we moved from that till COVID. We are the leading shop in sales in handball in Spain.
And the name is
Balonmano Pro Shop.
Okay.
Handball Pro Shop.
Handball Pro Shop.
We are changing
like
now.
The same name.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fact is that with the COVID not died because it took 1.5 years to get back to sales, and I have been playing Padel for the last 10 years. I was playing Padel every day, and most of my colleagues those days were playing Padel.
Mm-hmm.
And from that we decided to move on Padel. So we had the logistics, and it was just to make a new website, and it was crazy. Since the first month we were selling more Padel.
I'm gonna say something that maybe is not accurate, but I don't know if you get the hockey stick, like the curve that everybody's looking for in sales, but with Padel, right? Like that thing that you show to investors and all.
I like the thing that people say is like, hockey, what is that?
Yeah.
Handball, I know a guy that, and Padel,
everybody
can
knows.
you give me a discount?
Yeah.
Voucher code. So that has been
that.
the progression.
So you can understand how they.
But I would say life brings you to a challenge that you sometimes don't know. But the fact is, I learned from the basic. I learned with a very difficult niche sport because it's very difficult. Then we went to handball with different competitors, and then we came into Padel.
But you had like the know-how. You had the playbook.
So till we started Padel past 9 years, so I've learned a lot of technology, how to place online, how to position, and this know-how, it's something that, if you start a company with millions now, you don't have. Yeah. And in my opinion, it's very important to know the route. I've been doing packages. I've been doing packages for 8 years in my house, in the house of my dad. And we moved when Padel was into a small office, then now we have a big warehouse and an office here in Madrid. But to know why you choose a racket and how do we pack it and we ship it and why online. And
one thing that is interesting too, and maybe we can get into that later, is also like what happens when someone wants to have it back, right? Because I think it's easy to sell, but if you want to, like, the warranty and all those things are like
In that case, I would say that sports is not that bad as fashion,
Okay, well,
because
sure.
fashion it's
Yeah, they can like play with you whatever.
the rates are terrible high. In sports we have claims, but
Okay.
sometimes the claims you don't need to get
And
back.
I think you have a pattern. You can know when people are like lying and when it's something real. Like you
Yeah.
can see, like depending on like the series number or the model, or also like
Mainly
behavior.
Padel, it's quite
More or
easy to
less.
see if you hit the wall. That is
Okay.
the
The
most
main
common.
reason.
Yeah, when it's something in the frame, it's like, sorry, here we have nothing to talk about. Yeah, they can play with a stone, but in general,
Yeah, but-
it's.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah,
I have my colleagues doing that, but
No, but I think it's one of the interesting reasons to talk to you is that you've been there, you've done that, and you
Yeah.
are super bootstrapped. So, talking about your investors, how did you start it and how it's working now?
my dad,
Okay.
that was it. No, we have no
Like
investors.
friends and family?
No.
Just
We have no
family.
investors.
Okay.
Just my dad
Self-funded.
helped me. We started the company with 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes I have had a bit of help, but
Yeah, because you need like.
it's all
cash.
bootstrapping. Nothing, no friends. No. There is no other
Okay.
stakeholders.
So right
that-
now the company is 100% yours.
if we call my dad mine,
Well, okay.
I'm
Okay.
single child, so let's say that.
Yeah,
No. But yeah, I
I-
have 70%, and one employee has a little percentage. But between me and my dad, it's.
Oh, it's
the
good.
same.
They are invested too, like startup thing. Like your employees have some stock, or some of them.
Well, we just have one employee with stocks
Yeah.
because it has been 10 years in the company, and I think
Yeah.
it deserves.
Nice.
It's not that an investment that.
No, he's equity, let's say.
Yeah, it's kind of. He didn't ask for it. It's just because
Yeah.
he deserves that.
You think he deserves that? Okay. Super interesting because it's not that usual here in Spain to say that. So it's,
No, it's not usual. I agree.
I like it. So let's get into what we have here on the table. What's this? Oxdog.
Well, Oxdog, it's a floorball. So the hockey I was talking
Okay.
to, when I started, they came from another brand, and they started, and at the beginning it was like a new brand, but I started with them. It
Mhm.
was 12, 13 years ago. I don't remember
Okay.
exactly. And they changed. They changed the whole hockey. I know
Okay.
in Spain maybe it's not that big, but Sweden, Norway, and Finland is a top 3 sports there. And in 3 years they were already in the top 3, and nowadays they are number 1 in top level rackets, in top level sticks.
Yeah. Okay.
And
What did they do to make that kind of
technology.
revolution?
Yeah,
Tech.
sorry.
It's
yeah,
all
yeah.
about tech.
The idea is to make products that, as a player, you
Mhm.
really feel that you have an improvement in your game.
Okay.
And
But that's a big bet, right? Because sometimes I'm gonna say it in Spanish. No sé si la pala o el indio, no la flecha o el indio.
Sure,
So
But
the
but,
thing is,
but if you check nowadays in Padel,
Mhm.
the brands are very focused on players.
Yeah.
It's very important to have
Yeah,
a
totally.
player, but we are focusing in having good products.
Okay.
I know that brands do very good products. There's guys like Nox or
Yeah, like
Adidas.
professional players using that. Yeah.
Yeah,
more
no,
than
no,
the
and brands
products.
that are developing amazing products, but the marketing is different.
Yeah.
And ours, it's on the performance. Our slogan is "Others will follow,"
Mhm.
because we really want to focus on having the best product, and that's how it started. They called me because they knew me from before, and they knew I was starting the paddle. Those days was big, not that big. Padel Pro Shop was not as big as now. And they tell me, like, I answer, men think that Nox will Padel hate Adidas. They are in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me send you a box with some rackets, and you test
That's
it
it.
because we need some Spanish blood. We need to develop.
Yeah.
And
makes
they
sense.
came something with those rails here,
Okay.
and we were trying the rackets, and the first thing that we
Pressure.
figured out is that the racket was not vibration,
Okay.
zero vibration.
Okay.
What we do with those ribs that now are patented Europe-wise,
Mhm.
it's when you hit the ball inside the frame.
It spreads, right? Or
Yeah, there is vibrations, but the frame, as it's getting inside, the frame is getting moving.
okay.
So with those ribs, we can control how much is this movement. So if we make this movement smaller, the reaction is faster, so the ball goes out. When you give the racket to a professional,
Yeah. High
they
level.
say, "Mamma mia!" When you make a volley, it's faster,
Okay.
and you don't lose. And the fact is that no vibrations come to your hand.
It's important for the
But
elbow.
for smashing and for that, you don't lose. There is not that much sound. We call it silent speed, but silent speed
Yeah.
is created because there is no vibrations,
Okay.
and the reaction of the ball is faster. That makes also the carbon not to suffer that much, so less breaking.
So it's long life.
It's a with these ribs also we control where the vibrations go and where the power goes. So we have them on top, in the middle, or in the wrong ones down. So we can
So
put
more than
more.
playing with the balance that has been the classic play is more whether you put the force somehow.
Exactly. At the end is pure physics.
Very interesting.
And with
Pure
that,
tech then.
it's pure technology. We also have two kind of holes. We've been studying with the machine, checking how to place different ways of holes to have the most sweet spot around the racket.
Yeah, it's a power grips and it's 365
grams.
grams.
Also, we have on the bottom, we have a weight that you can screw in and screw out, so you have two possible balance. And also, this year it's coming with a sticker on top. That is the optic weight. We place a sticker so we can put balance also on top and on the bottom. So it's many technologies on the racket. Yeah.
The first time I heard about this brand was through Guille, coach Guille Lowe, that he told me about this in School Padel Center M30, and I was like, oh really? And they have that. He's a very technical guy.
Yeah,
So that was the first time I heard about it.
Also, if you check inside that was not expected, but we have 4 rails that are giving you the little vibrations that we have on the racket.
Like these speeds, right? No.
Yeah, no, it's those.
Yeah.
It's a silicone that you cannot really feel.
Okay.
But you have an anti-vibration, so the little vibration that arrives to your hand stay there.
So it just breathes through here and then through that.
Exactly. The thing is, it goes here and this should move. It's a normal thing. When you get in, it should. But with this, we stop the movement, so it's faster. The ball reacts normally, and there's not that much vibration, so less cracking. Okay. So in general, that's.
Do that is in all the rackets you have,
yes.
Or some specific ones?
For example, this is the new racket that we are developing now.
Okay.
And as you can see, we have the ribs here a bit lower. And in general, we also have the anti-vibration system, double hole system, flying.
Yeah.
So in general,
where are they made?
Asia.
Asia, okay.
Yeah. The fact is, in Asia, you have 3 kinds of factories.
Okay. Yeah.
A, B, and C, and this is in A. Why we can go in A? Because we produce sticks.
So you have that volume in your atomic.
Exactly, and that's why we can have those kind
of.
You
can negotiate somehow, right?
Well, maybe otherwise they don't accept you if you are a small brand that wants to start. But if you check on every racket here, you can see that the pictograms and everything is so clean.
Yeah.
Those can only be made in top factories, like very small details are perfectly.
Super smooth. Yeah.
Super smooth decals. We try to make elegancy with a top performance.
This one is 360 grams. Can people pick or is?
No, we try to. Of course, there is.
Make it uniform.
They come all in a box. They don't come. They come very well protected, and all of them say exact weight because it can be minus plus. But in general, we are doing something like the player can feel the difference with elegance. So it's elegant brand, but with a.
And let's talk about your catalog. How many rackets do you have? To me, it's strange to say rackets because I always say Padel, but English is English. Who are the players you are targeting, and what are the models you have for them?
So, talking about rackets, I think it's 14 this year, because I mix up because we are already working on the next one, but I don't know. So we have from 130 euros to 320.
Okay.
That is more or less the same in
the
dollars.
Same range in the industry?
Yeah, so we are targeting, we really want to target players that want to have a racket that helps them to play and to play better.
Okay.
And at the same time, we want to be an elegant brand, but look is one thing, but we really focus on performance. We really want to have, and in general, our goal is not sales. Our goal is to get into the mind of people with them trying the racket and feeling that it's better, because then you have loyal people
and
around.
How do you do that to have someone testing? To me, is one of the biggest challenges, a new brand for the first time.
Well, depends on the country. It's
Okay.
different. In Spain, we have around 20 places that you can go and test the rackets. I know in Colombia, for example, we have a good distributor there that is doing the same, going to every tournament, so you can try it for the 1st time. At the beginning, it's very difficult because people don't have the rackets. After 2-3 years, if you do good, that will not be that important because people who have rackets and will try the friends' rackets.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it's very important. That's why at the beginning you need very strong collection. You cannot go to the market with 5 rackets. You cannot go without clothing. For example, you can see my clothing. It's all elegant, like trying to have details everywhere. We have balls, we have grips, we have the innovation.
The full kit in order to make it.
Yeah,
balls.
we started that also. It's helping because from floorball we could take some clothing. Because it's sport clothing like Adidas was doing. So in that way we were lucky, and but now we have all, let's say, all focus for Padel 100%.
You were talking about like Colombia. How is Oxdog doing out of Spain, especially thinking about Latin America and the US?
Well, US is a new market that is growing pretty fast. We have some people managing around there in Texas. And there's some people that, as you mentioned, in Miami can have some rackets. We are very strong in Mexico. We are very strong in Colombia. We are very strong in Chile. And we're trying to get into Argentina, Brazil, but it's more difficult to find the right key people because the focus is to find right distributors that understand that they have to make their marketing and properly have stocks there, and with that grow together and make the brand to succeed to the next level.
And one thing I wanted to ask you related to this is, I think Central America is interesting because it's growing a lot, like in Honduras, also Costa Rica, Dominicana, all that, but they are small countries, right? So it's like super niche into already a small. Paraguay is growing a lot in Central America, but Padel they are embracing it. You said a little bit before that you're different because you're not going typically to like the pro players, but you also have players playing with the band.
One. It's not that we don't want to have.
Yeah, no. I understood, but I wanted you to develop that.
We want and to understand the market that we will have top players. We actually have, but it's not that we are giving him the racket and he's playing the racket brand. We are giving him his weapon that will make him win more games. And people will like our brand and not only the racket of LeBron or the racket of Galak. No, we want them to think, no, LeBron is playing with Oxdog because Oxdog is giving him an advantage. And that's
one step.
It's a different way of understanding the concept. Nowadays,
it's same action or same thing, but the consequences are different.
It's long-term thinking, and that's, I think, a lot of brands do it, but it's very important to don't think that this is a wave. It's growing super fast, and there is a lot of quick money, and we don't search for quick money. I don't search it with Oxdog, I don't search it with Padel Pro Shop because that's, of course, you can make some deals quickly, but I don't want to sell. We want people to buy our brand because they want to buy, and that's everything changed. No? So. That is, it's just marketing. It's a decision. It's both are correct, but I like to do things that I sleep in the night and I love what I do, and that's what makes me smile and to keep on developing every day.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
Who are the players?
Well, mainly we have first we have Ramiro Choya, that is the coach of Paquito and Sanyo nowadays. He has been with us for 2 years, and of course he's doing very good.
And he was a big bet because he's top coach worldwide and making the decision. He has to see something. Like there are things that people can do with money if you give them X amount of money, but his prestige, I think, should be something like that. Like once you test it, okay.
He was with us 6 months before we launched. Actually, he loved the brand. I cannot say his words, but in general, his feedback is, what are we doing? It's fantastic. And then from player side, we have Arnau Ayat and Teo Zapata. Both of them are around ranking 40, that are young players that are developing quite quick are now passed from ranking 100 to ranking 40 last year.
Okay.
And Theo is also a profession and really like focused on that since 2 years, and he's in ranking last year he made the quarterfinals. He's doing super good. So we have a team of two players. We are thinking to grow, but as mentioned, it's important that we talk about the good material. And I'm very happy with Theo. Just started 3 months, yeah, 3 months ago, but Arnau has been 1 year with us, and he say, "Man, this is fantastic. I really feel the racket, and that helps me to improve my game."
Yeah.
And that's like what we
Yeah,
want.
that makes a difference. And
Yeah.
I was going to ask you something that I think is very important for paddle, and it's how social media is being used. So, how important is social media for Oxdog?
Well, it's like everything nowadays. It's social media. It's everything. Is our catalog. Is our image. And when you surf on at Oxdog Padel, you can see the quality, the videos. We work on that, and that's how we, for example, got the Spanish Federation, because they were following us. We were in the World Padel Tour last year in every stand, in every tournament in Spain. And at the end, in Master Barcelona, we had a big stand. Like it was like a castle with a DJ,
Oh,
and all of that combined with a perfect social media. We have a team of people that are super super detailed, and we are,
focus on that.
and with that we are making
But that's the content you do. I mean, also to spread the word that, like, let's say, impact or like network effect is different. Like when people tweet about it or they use that in their Instagram, that's out of your scope. Like you can feed the content that you do in house, but then the word of mouth. That's so. How do you measure that? Do you follow that trend or?
yeah, we're talking now about those awareness startup, so we cannot measure everything.
Yeah.
We try to find and focus on what the things are good, because
priorities.
Exactly, and with that the sales are talking themselves. That I think is the biggest metrics. But in general, this 24 it's very good, but we are not looking for sales. We look for long term and try to show people that the racket helps them to improve. And that's a work. Of course, we need sales to survive. Luckily, in Sweden we have the floorball thing, and I have the Padel Pro Shop, so we both can help this to go for. But I would say probably 25 we're gonna be break even, or even end of 24. So much earlier than I expected. But not going to business is more too important to make the goal of understanding the market.
Okay, very good. I would like to switch into the store now, right?
Perfect.
And when did you start with Padel Shop?
Yeah, 2020 we were with the handball. We were very good. COVID came, and September normally is when the season starts again.
Okay.
And it didn't start again. So I think it was September, October. I decided to, guys, we have to do that. We have to change to paddle. We all were playing paddle crazily, and I was a very lover. There was the biggest shop back those days was not doing very good practicals. That you can buy a racket and they send you another one.
Okay.
And
They were overstocked somehow, right? Like they couldn't have in their warehouses.
well, I don't want to talk about
No, but I'm
competitors.
asking what you mean. Like it was like that.
Okay, maybe you don't know, but in Spain,
No,
everybody
I know.
will, everybody will
Exactly.
understand what I'm saying. Is that you were buying online a legal racket, and they were sending you their brand,
Okay.
and they were saying, oh, "I'm sorry, but we didn't have it, and we give you this one that was more expensive." That's, you can search internet. You know who was the leader back those days, and check the comments of fraud. There was more than 300 fraud cases about this.
No, I wasn't aware. I'm quite new into this.
Okay.
I know.
Any Spaniard will know, and that's why that
A
was.
Spaniard that played then, because there has been also like a new wave of players, so they might be people that are.
Yeah, exactly. So that happened a lot, and happened to me twice. I was back those days living in Berlin. I bought a box of balls, and they text me, "Oh, sorry, we don't have the head balls. Can we send you this one that is more expensive, or we send you two boxes?" And I was like, "No, I want the head balls." And one time I ordered a racket and they sent me a racket of another brand directly without asking. And you can return it, but this one is 400 instead of 200 that the one you bought.
Yeah, that's my choice, right?
Yeah, but that was
Your
happening.
mind.
That was happening.
Okay.
It's incredible. Searching internet, you know who I'm talking about. It's public.
I don't know. I didn't know about this. It's interesting to me because let's say when you do your groceries online with Amazon, they ask you if you would have set a substitution up front and you pay, but they do it up front. Like if you order, like I don't know, a lettuce, they don't send you tomatoes. They say if we don't have the lettuce, are you okay if we send you tomatoes or I don't know, kale or any other green? You know what I mean? Like you have options in case they don't have it, or you can say no substitutions, and there's no argument like to make it
No.
I want to say that in my mind, that's the common use.
I mean, if that would happen in US, the company would be
No,
closed.
it would be very different, I guess.
Yeah.
But here, the European Union is also very straight in
but
e-commerce. It's more like people wouldn't argue or they don't feel like to fight. And in the US, it's more like what we call say in demanda colectiva, and people they don't really do that. Like
but imagine it happens to you that at the end they are giving you a racket of 400 euros instead of 200.
It's not a matter of freedom.
So
that would be the case there.
So I was doing handball. We were very good reviews, etc. We started in December. I don't remember. It was 5th of December. It took us 1 month and a half to stock everything, prepare the website. We were working very full time on that, and it was very nice time. I remember it took me when I started with the hockey like 3 months to sell something online. Handball took me a week. And with Padel, I remember at night I left the website open. It was not ready, but I left it open because I was working and I didn't put the mode of. And we had an order. I remember I was having dinner and I had an order from guys and I didn't have the stock.
Oh, and you're like,
it was a few cans of balls, so I had.
What was your first test like?
No, it was not in purpose.
No, but
it was a mistake of me.
You knew you were into something. Like your minimum viable product work before you launch it
and
on
then
a deliberate way.
I remember this is like very housemaid. I made a Zoom with friends, etc. And the first month, it was December was the record of sales for the company ever. Only it was not the whole
this
December.
Year. Oh well, 2023.
2020. No.
At that time. Okay. So we're talking about that yet, still.
No.
I get it.
If I would put those kind of orders
right now, no.
With the logistic we had before, no. So from that, the party started.
I guess so, but at some point you had to start to talk to a few brands, the distributors. How was that like?
It was not that difficult because Padel market now it's more professional. It was not that professional back those days. And the fact is that we were coming and saying, hey, we are a handball shop. We have a problem because the market is completely bad, but we have the knowledge. We're going to try to do that. In my mind at the beginning was like, we are doing this for a short period because handball will come and maybe we have, but maybe it's another way of. And the fact is February, so 3 months after, we were selling in January, February, March more than a full year of handball, the best full year of handball.
So you were like, I'm gonna get really invested into this.
Well, it took me a while to really trust what we were doing, because it was so fast, so quick. We were moving. It was in my house before, the house of my dad. Then we have one office with the logistics. Then we needed another office to keep everything for logistics, and then we moved to another one.
Now, where we are is your office, your HQ in Madrid, like in Moncloa, Argüelles district, and I really like it. It's super interesting to me. It's kind of a surprise, and this is with Padel, so we like to talk about paddles, technology, and business. So this is like a perfect, like a sweet spot of the things we would like to talk about. And since then till now, how has everything changed? Not just the ecosystem, but also your.
My life has changed.
Okay.
My life has changed. I mean, we were a company of €500,000 back those days, 2020. And this 2024, my expectation is to have around 18 to 20 million. So
of revenue or
sales.
Sales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the growth is like crazy.
And how many employees?
Nowadays we are 22, I think.
Okay, it's
So
a significant number. And where do you sell? Are you selling in Spain, overseas? How is
depending
that
on the
working?
brands, but most of them worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I buy in from the US?
Some brands are not shown
Okay.
because distributor, but in general, yes, most of them. Yeah, we do everything B2C. We focus on customers, final customers, and the fact is, as a website, it's not nice that I say it, but in Spain we don't like to be arrogant or honest sometimes, but we have the nicest website, the fastest. We deliver it the fastest. We have the best reviews in Google.
Okay.
We have the second best social media after the big guys. But if you check in interaction rate, we have the biggest social media in Padel. And I think we are making things correct. Just to get into a shop, have the right brands, have the stock, even send quick. If you have a problem, we help you.
Okay.
We have no more
Quite
magic.
basic, no. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes to make the basic good, it's
It's
not
more
that easy.
making the right decision. No, what do you prioritize? That's the big question.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess you told me before that you kind of measure everything, but thinking about myself, like if I were in your position, I would be playing like with my ant farm all the time. You know,
What do you mean for?
the ant farm from La Granja de Hormigas,
Yeah.
that you can watching what they do and all that. Like what I mean is, you have like the magic ball to know the trends that are coming, the places like maybe you know where there are in the world opening new clubs because you see that people are looking like your SEO, your sale, like the trends on search and the trends on demand, what people look for. Do you know a lot about the market? Like you have a lot of business intelligence, not just related to this good or like say a jacket or whatever, but also places, lifestyle. So that's super.
We have around 500,000 visitors per month, and of course we have some data. But I'm kind of freak. I love what I do, and I'm this kind of person that in the night I start checking the orders and I pass 1, 2, and I check what is. Even we have metadata that give you total sales of Adidas, total sales of no.
Yeah.
But sometimes I like to go and check what they are doing in the orders and try to understand.
That's what I mean. Like
of course. For example, now I'm going to the warehouse in the afternoon. I love to be with the people around there. Maybe it's not in US, but in Spain there is still this kind of culture that the boss, but I'm not this kind of boss. I'm the boss that in Black Friday I was putting the rackets in the order because my colleagues could not manage this Black Friday. So I was using the Trustpilot to put the rackets in the right place so they could make orders.
To me, you could be doing the wrong thing if you were like that at this point. You know what I mean? Like, because also, like, you roll your sleeves.
I love
you
it.
Go straight
and I try to hire people that do that in the top. And for example, now it was difficult to find a marketing director, and now I have a guy that yesterday we were talking at 1:30 in the night. He was, "Hey Diony, can I call you and tell you what happened today in the interviews? If you are working," and I was working, and it's because he likes. So I
He's really invested in a like very humble way. Like he, like people.
Well,
that's the way.
And the logistic manager that is kind of my right hand. He works too much. No, he's improving. He's improving. Let's say, but he loves what he does. He's every day at 6 in the office. I've never been in the office before. He never, even I've tried, and he loves what he does. And we have the team.
How do you do the hiring? I don't know if you look like for people now that's one thing. I don't know if you're like poaching people that are already in the industry or they come to you, or maybe you like people that are like recent graduates because they are passionate and they want to learn, or they send you email. I don't know how it works. I'm like totally curious because to me this is a rare species. You know, it's like a startup that it's into paddle that working with another like meta startup, but at the same time you are using like the Silicon Valley way to do things. So I don't know if there are a lot of like weirdos that like it and come to you, or you are evangelizing somehow.
Well, it's very difficult. The last year we hired around 10 to 12 people, and referral is a very good way.
Okay.
If I have for example, the guy that is around here, Fernando, he came from Berlin and he was always telling me, Diony, this guy I know from Berlin. At the beginning, we could not even think about it because he's coming from OneFootball, a very big company that is talking about football on Instagram, and he's a super designer. But when you hear people that you really trust, oh, I've been working with, because I've been working always in my company.
Yeah.
So at the beginning was in my hockey team, I was hiring the right people because I spent with them a lot of time. Then, of course, we use LinkedIn sometimes. For logistic, we live in El Escorial, that is a village, and we have always friends of friends. And for that, I like people that I trust, because we have €1,000,000 in stock, and I have to trust them. And of course, I trust my manager, but we need the right people to be there. So there is not one way. You know? And keep your eyes open. And if I go to a dinner, or if I met a guy that I play paddle and I think is interesting.
I like this person, how they're doing or whatever.
Sometimes I don't know how to place them in my structure, but as you might know.
But they can create their own job somehow, like knowing the skill set, then you can do the KPIs, or maybe they change it as the company grows.
And more I develop, more I take the right decisions. But one important thing I've learned is not to hire quick. No rush. Hire the right people in the right moment. Hire them, but don't take fast decisions. Are bad. I know that sometimes you have to take a bad decision, but my worst decision has been when I have had rush. When I sit and take a coffee and talking to one of my best friends that is not in the company directly, but yesterday we were watching the game of Real Madrid, and I tell him that, and calmly we decide, and the day after I can take the decision.
Yeah, but you can like have different angles.
Yeah, you have to be clever to do things, not fast. There's no rush. And luckily, with Padel Pro Shop now we are in a situation that we have no rush. We have to continue doing things.
Like the right way. I wanted to ask you too about those trends. What do you think, or what are you watching that's gonna happen? I don't know. Like people, when do they renew their rackets? Or I see that this brand is doing very well in your store, or I see that this model specifically is like breaking.
So you mean about trends of brands in the paddle market?
Or brands, or like what people like. I don't know.
No.
It could be shoes. Something cool, like fun facts. You know?
I mean, it's not nice that I say it because I'm related to both of them, and I would say Oxdog is the number one trend. It's not, of course, one of the top 10 brands, but it's the super trend. I would say in our shop it's completely clean, and there is some brands that are leaving the market or cutting a bit the market or getting away. From comparing to last 5 years, there is some changes on that. But I would say Oxdog is super good trend. We have very good sales with Adidas and Nox as Padel Pro Shop. I would say those are the two leaders nowadays in our shop. Talking about shoes, I think it's the Japanese Mizuno and Asics that we have very good sales, and they do very good material.
And clothing?
Clothing is a difficult, because Bull Padel is number one because they have such long different things, but Nox we sell very good. But there is not one brand.
And I feel like sometimes people just wear like sports clothes. They are
Adidas,
not that much
Nike,
into the brand, and with their rackets has to be like that.
But we sell a lot of Nox and Bull Padel
clothing.
Bull Padel is number one. That's for sure. Has been with World Padel for those years.
And do you find like talking about geography, some places in where you feel we're getting more like orders from here, and before we didn't?
Well, Europe it's pretty stable. It's growing. I think Belgium, Holland is very good. Italy and Sweden are super big. I don't know if you know there, but Italy and Sweden are already very big. And Germany, I have a feeling that it's gonna come. And Germany, when it comes, is 100 million people. So.
And one thing about German, and it might sound like cliche, but they always look for good tools. Like they like things that are reliable. In general, like you think how the cars, how they are Bosch, like the tool company, usually they are very technical in that way when they look for something.
And they're very loyal. That's a
Mm-hmm.
fact. Yeah. So it's a market very interesting. Out of that, the Arabas, the Kuwait, that it was very very big after pandemic. Now they are still doing very good. I know the Thailand, Bali, etc.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing very good, and I have some friends that are doing a tour there.
Okay.
And in general, I think there's a lot of potential there, like Bali, Philippines, all
Mm-hmm.
those places. South
Interesting.
America, of course, Argentina is the second biggest, or
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
huge.
It's difficult to explain about
Yeah.
Argentina, of course, with the economic situation, but it's a super huge market. And then Mexico, I think those two are super strong. And let's say USA, because some parts are already working, but pickleball is a big fighter
Yeah.
there.
But
So
there's a still, I think in the US, to me, what we play is more like the Hunger Games because there are not enough courts. And my guess, and it's just a guess, it's not like a fact, is that the more courts they are, the more people are gonna get onboarded and more material. So it's still like putting a seed and it will grow, but it's still like
the main thing
working on
is
that.
to
But it's
build
gonna be
courts.
fast.
The main thing is to build court because the guy that builds the courts wants to earn money.
Yeah.
So they make the marketing to fill the courts. So that's a very good thing from paddle compared to other sports I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, if pickleball is very cheap to make the court, it's a big fight.
Yeah.
Even paddle is, in my opinion, more nice to watch probably when you go the professional way. But if there is a big fighter as pickleball, it
I
would
would
take.
fight against pickleball somehow. Like right now, there's kind of a war between tennis and pickleball because they are like taking out the space and all that. The difference with paddle is that you need the infrastructure. That makes a difference.
Yeah.
Also, people are complaining about the noise. That the ball just with the air like tuck 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 tuck. That's controversial. And paddle is not getting into that war. Like the people that play paddle is like another thing. The only thing is pickleball in the US is being somehow pampered because it's a pure US sport and all that. But it's the paddle is the fastest growing sport worldwide. And
Definitely,
that's a fact.
it will come. It will come. It's just as you mentioned, build courts because
But
the
you
courts.
find like orders from the US people.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't know if it's from US or
Ah.
Mexico people that wants to put it in Mexico. Or,
Okay.
Yeah, that's the situation that you don't know.
That's interesting. But do you have to send them from here or
We
it
do
depends?
everything from Madrid. Yes,
Wow.
one day.
Wow. And it's a big, I haven't bought, like being super honest, from the US. It, I mean, like the shipment cost is very big or it depends on the order, how big it is?
We make it in terms of weight.
Okay, okay. Makes sense.
Let's say a racket is like 50
Yeah,
euros.
like a pound, like less than like half a kilo, like 360.
Yeah,
It's
one
everything in
kilo.
a
We
pound.
can't think 1 kilo because of the
Yeah.
packaging, and we involve it in some of those bubble
Yeah,
papers.
so like 2 pounds. Okay.
Yeah, 1 kilo. Calculate more or less.
Yeah, yeah, but like the mine there is like pounds and miles.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder why they do that because they are very usually pragmatic Americans,
Yeah.
but they got the imperial system instead of the metric system,
Yeah.
and that's a little anchored in a country that they're usually very pragmatic when they make decisions.
Sure.
More a tradition. Okay, I think I've asked you mostly everything I wanted to. Well, I'll be here for a very long time because this is super interesting. I would like to keep in touch with you and get to know more, all that. But I don't know if you have something to remark or something we didn't ask you about.
Really, I think we talk a bit about everything. We were not focusing a bit maybe to highlight something. I would say why people buy Padel Pro Shop. I would say that's because to rise so fast. But I think is we say like doing everything correct, but it's so important like good reviews nowadays. People that really show that you are a good one. Of course, the social media and the paid media. It's very important, but in general, I think it's to focus on having a good website and giving a super good logistic situation and good, and that's very difficult to find in in other places. Also prices, we have to be following the prices of the competitors.
Yeah, but there's something that really like got my eye, and take this from a Spaniard that has been living in the US for 10 years, right? So sometimes my view is a little different, but I felt this past Christmas that what you were doing was a little bit of a guerrilla marketing, but also remind me to Netflix style campaigns, you know, like I don't know if you can say, but when you said El Padel es vuestro, and it's a reference somehow like quite evident to another big store well known in the US. They are working and they are like partnering with
Sure,
club,
the biggest store in the world.
That's it. I didn't know they were biggest.
Sure.
Okay.
They are the biggest in the world.
So that kind of pun intended, right?
Yeah.
Was funny. How did you get into that campaign and how did it work?
As most of the things, I was with friends and I don't know, we were having a dinner or something, and it came in my mind. Actually, it came in my mind Christmas before, but we didn't have the time to do it, and I didn't want to waste the idea of this Christmas.
So you kept that for you?
Yeah. And now it's kind of, people likes it. It's a jokey way of
referring to the competitor.
Yeah, you know, the name comes from a Christian way. It's something that people don't know international, but
yeah, that's the thing. Like their name is already kind of a pun, a joke.
It's a joke. They started with a joke, of course, from
and then it became a big thing.
Exactly. And we took it. I was expecting them to reply. That would have been good for both of us.
I would feel like with social media.
Yeah, but I
some
think,
beef there, like.
Yeah, something like they could.
I think it's something generational, right? You see, like the reggaeton
Coca-Cola,
people or Coca-Cola, like
Pepsi,
McDonald's,
Coca-Cola, Pepsi
nowadays.
did, but we didn't have a reply, and it's because they don't really have a marketing strategy. But it was a very good opportunity. I was like, I have friends there, and I was like, tell to your director to call me, and we make something fun out of it, because it's not a market for one person, you know.
Or even El Día de los Inocentes, right? Which is like April's Fool here, but not around Christmas.
Yeah.
Like
so
a funny way to do something.
In general, it was there. Maybe we will use it. We have some ideas, but we don't also want to only talk about like that. But it's one thing that I was very laughing about it, because the idea was fun. We made it in Callao, that is like the biggest school in Madrid.
They were like Netflix style.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah,
it was very expensive to do that.
Yes.
But did it pay off or?
Not in December, but I would say January and February. We really had it like this. Yes.
Okay. So Diony, thank you. It's been my pleasure. And hope to see you soon in Miami or something in the US. That would be a good sign that you're
definitely.
doing well.
I want to go to visit you. We have a friend in common there. So, so I would like to. Yeah. So and I'm very curious about all the Silicon Valley thing, because I had some opportunities to go there, but you know, sometimes
you were too busy. You were heads down.
Yeah, it's like people, don't you want to work for it?
Maybe at some point.
Mostly to visit.
You don't know.
Mostly to visit, but in general here we are developing the team. We are doing things that are fantastic, and I like something that the guy that is making the photo now said to me, like, Diony, if you want to make your company big, it's like a classroom. If you have good students, most of the people is good student. You'll make the classroom the bad students to get into the good students. And if you hire people that is in the middle, we will go to the bad. And that was very true, and I think we are doing that correctly, to hire the big people to develop the classroom, and to make the people that can be more lazy or can be more that. In general, when someone gets into the company, I don't like say, hey, you have this timetable. We have, of course,
more or less,
some hours, but in general they can go whenever. You don't have to, because if they see the passion and we make like events and people like each other, like to make the logistic team with the marketing team.
And they are left behind because they are not following the rest. So it's not, you don't need to push them, like the system is going to do that.
Definitely. And for me, one thing I liked a lot from people I like, it's that they really respect and understand that the logistic is, we are a logistic company. At the end, what we do is not that difficult, but we need the logistic to do everything perfect. And the people who respect really the people that make packages, that is something manual that can be repeated, but they are the key point of the company, and I love that. And we have the mood in the warehouse is like they live in jokes.
I would like to visit one day. Like they
You're
have
welcome.
music, whatever. Like that's
Depends on the moment.
Depends on the day.
Not
the
Monday
rush.
morning
Yeah.
with all the orders and then Black Friday. But for example, tomorrow we have a meeting there, and they send to the marketing manager and one influencer that are coming. We have normally Friday at the end of the week. They make aperitivo, like they bring some, and they send a PDF like saying, "Hey, the managers of the aperitivos are asking you to bring it, or you're fired in the company." Signed by them.
That's funny.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like to have this kind of and a huge.
You're building a culture.
And we have a culture, and that's good. That's good. I mean, not many people is leaving the company. Actually, no one, and that's something that is important to keep people super happy with the situation. So.
Okay. Nice to meet you, and hope to keep in touch and
Thank
get
you
to
so
know
much.
more about Oxdog, like the collection, all that.
That will come. That will come for sure.
And also the store.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.